Hey, what's up guys? Today we're gonna have another video, and today we'll be talking about if statements and true or false statements. So like kind of like take a more in-depth view of all that and more like just make sure that everything is going great. I'm going to set a timer for around like 13 minutes. That way it doesn't happen again like last time where, you know, I make the video too long and I have to make it into two videos. So this time it's going to be one video and I'm going to try to put all of it down as quickly as possible while still making it as understandable as possible as much as I want to do it. So first, before we start with the true or false statements and if statements, let's talk about how to declare your variables. So we know how to declare it, right? We know like let name is equal to Luis. Okay, sorry about that. But if it's gonna be more than one word, you can't do like for example, let last dash name, like if this was, you know, some sort of, HTML. Like you can't do it like that. Or you can't capitalize. It's not a good you can, but it's not a good programming practice. So we have this thing called camel case. That's what we're gonna focus on. Camel case. It's where the first letter is going to be a lowercase, but for the next word, it's going to be uppercase, and it's going to go back down to lowercase, and then the next word. So, for example, we can do like let list of names, and you see how we have a capital letter here, and we have a capital letter here. That's camel case for you. It's just to make sure you have that knowledge. But for now, let's talk about true or false statements. It's pretty simple. You know how in the last video I talked about booleans where it was true or false? Yeah, it basically is a boolean. Like, for example, we're going to store a boolean variable of let um check num is equal to, and let's say, for example, 6 is greater than 7. If 6 is greater than 7, which is not, it's going to return a true. But if it's not, then it's going to return false. So now we're going to do console.log. And as you can see here, if I refresh, it's going to return false. Because guess what? 6 is not bigger than 7. Now, if I do, for example, 8, you know, and I go back, it'll return true. Because it is true. And now here's what this gets like a little confusing. So you know how we have one equal sign for most things? Well, to check if that's called a declarative. That's where it declares something. So for example, if we do that here, it'll be bad. It's not good. It's gonna give you an error. And if I refresh here, see how it gives you a syntax error? Yep, that's because that's not how it's supposed to be. In JavaScript, for most languages it's 2, but for JavaScript it's 3. So what this is doing is it's checking if 8 is equal to 7, which it's not. So in return, it should return false. Yeah, there we go. False. Now, we can do a lot of things with this. We can let's say we can do let my number is equal to 8. And then we could do let check num is equal to, and let's do my num is greater than 10. So if my number is greater than 10, it will return true. And if it's not, it will return false. And guess what? I did is 8. So if I refresh, it's false. Now if I go back and I change this to like 18, it'll return true. Not pretty nifty. The more you expand on it, the more it helps, the more better you get at it. But that's technically it. Like for example, we can do also my num. We can do let's just do this. Let is 10 is equal to my num is equal to 10. So now if I do this, now we will, if we refresh, it'll say false. And then if I change my number to 10, it'll return true. And now another thing that we can do is not 10. And this is where we add in, instead of the first equal sign, we do an exclamation point and then two equal signs. This is basically saying it's not equal to. So any number that is not 10, it'll return true. And any number that it is 10, and if it is 10, it'll return false. Because we're checking if it is or if it's not. So if I refresh, it's 10, oh, I'm sorry guys. There we go. There we go. False. And now if I change this to literally any number, true. You know? And we can do, as I said before, we can do a lot of things with this. But for now, I'm going to take what I just showed you, and I'm going to show you in an if-else statement. Let's see how much time we got left. Yeah, we have a perfect amount of time. Okay, so an if, first let's look at if statements. So this is basically saying if, let's see. For example, we can do, let's set something up here. Let my number, for example, is equal to 8. And in here, we'll do, for example, if my number is greater than 5, it'll do this, whatever's over here. And if I go back, refresh, there we go. So basically, it's basically saying um, whatever's in here, if this statement returns true, it'll do this. And if it's not true, it's not gonna do it. And this is where you can use an else. And in an else, you can do I hate broccoli. I don't know why. I like broccoli though. Don't quote me on that. So, refresh, it's still gonna say hi because this number is greater than 5. But now if I change this to like 3 and I go here and now I refresh, it's going to go to the else statement and it's gonna say I hate broccoli. Now we can do a lot of things with this as well. We can do um, for example, let's say if my number is greater than 5, it will um, change my num to equal um, 10, for example. And then I can go here and I can do console.log my num. And now if I run this, it should just log 3 because it's still less than 5. This returns false, so it won't do it. And yep, there we go. But now if I do 31, it will now say, okay, is this number greater than 5? Yes, it is. All right, let's make my number equal to 10 now. Because, I don't like any number greater than 5 other than 10, so I'll just keep it at 10. And if we go back to this website, refresh, it'll just keep on doing 10. And whatever number I do, I can make a huge number, humongous. I don't even know, I don't even know how many digits there are in this. And then I can just go here and refresh. It'll still be 10. See? Pretty cool. Um, so yeah, now we can do a lot of things with this. I don't know why I keep on saying that, but that's technically it. That's all I wanted to show you guys for now. Until next video we'll talk about functions and maybe something else, but for the most part I want to touch on functions. And maybe some other time we'll do for loops, while loops, and I'll keep going. So, see you guys, have a good one, and peace out.